Alright guys, and we are back with more Dangan Ronpa. We are really getting to the end of the game. This game has been very interesting so far. I didn't know visual novels could be this hype. Ever since Phoenix Wright, oh my god, like, Phoenix Wright was hype, but this game was hype. This game was hype, but Phoenix Wright, it was hype, but this game is hype. Alright? But anyway, so what we want to do now is, I guess we have to keep talking to Kyoko here.
However,
Second floor, yep, let's talk to her. So what was it like? That's part of the school, I mean. That part of the school. It's hard to say. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself. And I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important and really ominous. Can we examine this? That's a rocket in a tank. I would not think about too. Hey, was that from the beginning of the game when we first started up? Like someone got shot into space or some shit? You know what? Whatever.
however,
What was going on? What the hell was going on, really? It has to do with Mukuro.
however,
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then who did kill her?
anyway,
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Really? Get you killed?
indeed,
I stole that key and disappeared in retaliation. They wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
correct,
That was the point of the class trial. It was. The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
that's right,
Exactly.
in other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
hey,
There's one thing that I like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may have not become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. Oh, because of that dream we had. That's right. I could have become the victim.
indeed,
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean during the night?
I
I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. The ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
anyway,
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow across the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
correct,
I ran into your room and I saw exactly what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
however,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to whoever the masked assailant was. They ended up dead.
correct,
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
indeed,
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. Yo, this shady ass motherfucker. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try to kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
correct,
That is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed to class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
in other words,
It means the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto,
Just a little more. Just a little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the ultimate despair. Of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair. There's no doubt that Makura was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about
That's right.
whatever happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever is responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair?
It would seem.
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're,
Indeed.
make no mistake, they're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. A group of people? 100-mile dash, pain of a junk food junkie. The pain of a junk food junkie. No one really died, other than, like, the person that was made up. Damn. Dream Rocket... Dream Island Rocket! Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah, we got another trophy. We got another trophy. We got another trophy. So this means we're no longer getting free time, right? The ultimate despair. I love this music. It's so awesome. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Do you still have that other thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolute vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
That's right. Then we should be able to use it on that door. Alright, let's use it. Hey, Kyoko, can we use that key of yours to open this door?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko, take out the key from the Monokuma design on it and slid it under the keyhole. Or slid it into the keyhole. And then it's open.
Indeed.
Now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Finally, we were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief because the real fight had just begun. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Holy shit. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunneling straight up. Or we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder intent on reaching the surface. Oh. The ladder was impossibly long and I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed in the darkness. Yo, Metal Gear Solid starts playing that song. Snake Eater. The Snake Eater song just starts playing right now because of this long ass climb. I had no idea we were so far down. Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I will be careful. And now that you said that, I'm kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So Kyoko, there's something I want to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Really? This is your family's... Alright, then your family is famous. They're famous. Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So,
Right.
because we take pride in it. Pride.
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. This is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we made a conscious effort to conceal our existence so people wouldn't use our abilities to their advantage. Yeah, I see it.
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, but I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family's creed and what we do, and we do what we must do to protect it. Because like I said, it's our source of pride. Right, so that explains. Before I came here, one was looking up in info. I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However,
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. By telling Makoto. In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true detective would never do. But the reason you gave that pride up, the reason you go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There's something I want to say to him, though. You're a deadbeat! No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. What? Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Gigiri family. He was talented, he had a promising future.
However,
but he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Now after that, my mother died and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that, exactly. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. Maybe his dad didn't want to do that shit, alright? So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I've gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative. And more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That is my position. Yep.
However,
there's one thing I can never forgive. Really, what?
So...
the way everyone looked at me. What? I was never sad about being left behind, like I said. I think it was a good thing.
However...
but when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me, even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
Correct.
That's why I have to find him, and I tell him there's no her, and tell him we're no longer family. In order to remove him from my life forever, I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, just to cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No. Is blood really enough to call someone family? Damn, I know how you feel on that though, but I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't even know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. Just climbed your ass up the ladder. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. You're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna keep you down. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of the door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? Ah, so that's where it leads to. I'm fairly certain that's where it will come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Smart girl, Kyoko. Well, here goes nothing. Man, she never unlocked that. That would have been crazy. Yo, we'd have been stuck in there forever. Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope Speak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I would never have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. Hell. Say hi to the camera. What up, bitches? We back! You thought we died? A surveillance camera. Is the mastermind watching us even now? Yo! This is how we got out of the garbage pit. I never would have imagined that's where this would lead. Damn. So what do we do now? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Now let's just get a concrete answer. Huh?
In other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
However...
If we tried to hide, it's only a matter of time until we are found out. And it's not like we can run away. As she said, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry. What do you think is going to happen? Because the mastermind isn't the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared. Or excuse me, I read that wrong, didn't I? Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. Ah, of course. You said something like that before. What does it mean? So... The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was? Right. If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. It'd be better for us if we got to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. Still a little super uneasy about this, but we don't really have a choice, do we? Indeed. Monokuma should be in the gym. Alright, let's do it. Can we check in here first? Oh, that's the way out, duh. Yo, I'm back! I'm back, bitches! I'm back! With my girl Hina! With my girl Hina!
Shall we go?
We need to get to the gym to Monokuma. God damn it! I wanted to kiss my girl. Did I tell you we got wet together the other day? I didn't tell you about that, did I, Kyo? Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go. The gym. Going to the gym. Going to the motherfucking gym. Hey, Monokuma, we are coming for you. We coming for you, motherfucking Monokuma. Fuck you, Monokuma. Coming for Monokuma. Fuck you.
Well now.
Well now. Kyoko, I don't mind so much, but Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really going to be okay? You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
What if I did? What will you do? If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again, and this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko, do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However...
But before you do, let me say just one thing.
No.
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? I lose?
Hey!
You explain yourself. What do you mean by that?
Because...
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse. You wanted an excuse to kill me.
In other words...
I was supposed to be chosen as a black and then executed, right? What are you talking about?
However...
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. Your plan came crashing down. The result of the trial wasn't at all what you were expecting, because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
Right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the black and then trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However...
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of being that... You know what, never mind. I had thought of something, but you know what? You never imagined the possibility of being that... of a being that could come to our aid even after you killed it.
Am I wrong?
Now, here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Makuro, you did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the blackened and exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying that you're saying that the blackened is me and not Makoto?
Well?
And you can prove this, right?
Wow.
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence.
That doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee that I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there's only ever one absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type.
Because...
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution, and he would have tried to run away. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
However...
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
That's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
Indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto right now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased.
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because they would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you could say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair fair and square,
That's what we have to
then
do.
I suggest you take my advice. Then what is this advice of yours?
it's true.
To do Makuro's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair.
Hope!
Hey,
We ain't talking about that bitch Hope from the Lightning Returns game. We're talking about Hope! Hope! The real Hope! A fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, this will be our chance to expose the true identity of Makuro's killer, of the masterminds themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept that challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Barry?
What's wrong?
Well, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little, so time for a bear joke. Now, what you've suggested might be plausible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other words,
You guys!
Alright, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Now we got all these lame ass Kuma puns. Will you hope, or will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain
One
myself!
final grisly showdown. He agreed. Then we have another shot at this.
Barrett!
But this is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting in.
Guys!
So for this face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries. That's right, every last mystery that's pawning around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely contain
then that'll be
myself.
enough to qualify as the victory for you. Oh my god.
it's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Well, good luck. But let's bear it all. If you can claw your way out of the truth of Makuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school,
Guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all that, we all face execution. I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? Honestly, can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey,
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure. So what?
Hey,
I want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement? You don't have to be suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. So the mastermind could be a student here. The mastermind is probably a student here. Because they just said that Monokuma killed the ultimate soldier, right? And the class trial is only held when a student kills another student, right? So the mastermind is another student that goes here. What? This is a 17th person? Or possibly it could be someone here, but I don't believe it. Because at the time of the murder, everybody else had an alibi. So the only other thing I can think of was there someone that died actually the mastermind or someone? This shit is so confusing. The mastermind is obviously another student at this point. We just confirmed that. And having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that. Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception. Then it's part of the regulations, which would have meant that whoever killed Mukuro is a very polarizing approach. I know, but okay, enough fun. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak Academy since the killing game began are those 16 students. Holy shit!
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why did he go quiet all of a sudden?
Now I'm really angry.
So get lost, would you? Why so mad?
Whew.
He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey,
I'm trying to think. Who died? It could be Leon. He didn't really die. He just took all those hits. And Leon's the fucking guy. Leon's the fucking mastermind. Nah, I don't know. You're really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. I need to start getting ready. A super duper extra special punishment. Overflowing with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto, let's go. Alright. Shut up, Monokuma. You sound like a fucking pervert, dude. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. We have to introduce ourselves back to everybody else. We have to let everybody know, everybody else know that we're alive. We have to do it. And just like that, we were out of the gym. We have to let them know. We have to let them know hope remains. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Kyoko, thank you. Because of you, everything I have right now is because of you. I read because of you first. That is so strange.
however,
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah,
whew,
but still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
so
They had no choice but to accept. Huh?
because
It's all because of that one moment that the mastermind let their guard down. And they just, like I said, there was no time limits before, right? And he was just hurrying up the fucking trial like a little bitch. Because we were getting too close to figuring out the truth. So when was it that the mastermind let their guard down?
so
They said that they hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school live to the outside world. They definitely said that.
listen.
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However,
And yet somehow the mastermind was able to do it.
in other words,
But to think of it another way, there must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason?
so
They had to show the world something no matter the cost. Us killing each other. They wanted to show the world.
would seem
The mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. That makes sense. It's those stupid regulations didn't. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody.
in other words,
The mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why?
correct.
To prove a point, most likely, yeah.
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the students of the Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope, right?
that's right.
And for those of us who represents hope to kill each other and sink into despair, the mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal as the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right. It is ridiculous. Completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. The group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto,
I know how angry it must make you, and yet, the same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness. What?
in other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world, the mastermind had to be more particular than, the mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable to, okay. The mastermind simply ignored the rules. This wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least,
Those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves.
indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished, but in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished, but in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me. Why is that?
Right.
So instead, they tried to use the class trial following all the proper rules to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer, then they made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work.
It's true.
And due to failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. Oh, okay. And when the fact was exposed to live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion?
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they violated their own regulations. But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to... I'm thinking right now. That's why I keep pausing. I'm sorry. I hate when I do that. It's like I can't think and talk at the same time. Or I can't be deep in thought and talk at the same time is what I should say. But anyway, all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge.
however,
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got the chance. Because you believed in me, another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet.
Whew.
But it looks like I got it right. This time, at least, I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seem totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Presenting a stronger demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I showed my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. You're probably right. How pathetic.
However,
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time.
correct.
For everything we've gone through have been for nothing. You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. There's no option except to win.
Hey,
But before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. I still want to know the truth behind, like, the pictures that were taken earlier in the playthrough, like, that showed, not Monokuma, but it showed, like, the other people that had previously died, like Chihiro, Mondo, Chihiro, Mondo, Leon, and then the other group was Sayaka, Hifumi, and it was another person. Those pictures we went through and seen, like... Alright, who all died? Alright, up until that point, Kiyotaka was still alive, or Kiyotaka was still alive. No, Kiyotaka wasn't still alive, was he? No. Those pictures... Alright, Chihiro was in it. Celeste was in it, and then Hifumi was in it. And then the other picture showed Leon, Mondo, and Chihiro. The only two... Junko wasn't in the picture. And then Kiyotaka wasn't in the picture. Alright, they weren't in the picture together. And then we haven't seen another picture like that in a while. And then Sakura had died before we seen those pictures. So, alright, after we seen those pictures. Huh. So I guess that's a fact we have to keep in mind here. I want to know what the hell those pictures were for. That's like one of the biggest questions in my mind. But now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone.
however,
Is that really possible? It is possible. We have to show Makoto is still alive.
anyway,
Right now we have to go find the others.
shall we go?
I think they will believe us if we show Makoto. He is the hope. He's literally the symbol of hope right now, because it looked like he died, but he didn't fucking die. So here we go. So I'm gonna save the game, take a short break, and once we come back, we'll be back with about 30 minutes of Dangan Ronpa. So I'll see you guys later.